Taigi sveiki mėlyjei, sveiki žiūrovai, sveiki visi susirinkę į jūsų mėgstamiausią blogiečio šiandienos epizodą. Ir svečiuose šiandieną pas mane laidoje yra vokiečių aktorė iš Suomijos, kuri yra komikė, taip pat aktorė, kaip ir minėjau, muzikinio televizijos šou vedėja, didelė kačių ir sunkiojo metalo muzikos gerbėja, mergina, kurią galėtumėte atpažinti, jeigu YouTube'e turite užsiprenumeravę jos kanalą, kuris vadinasi Katis pašėlės dienoraštis, arba iš muzikinio interviu kampo taip pat YouTube'e. Aš jums pristatau Kati Rausch.
Genau, ich bin Kati Rausch. Ich bin ein deutsches Mädchen aus Finnland. Ich moderiere Musik-TV, ich bin Stand-up-Comedian und Schauspielerin, ich wohne in LA und ich freue mich sehr, dass ich heute bei Your Favorite Villain zu Gast bin. Moi, mä olen Kati, mä olen näyttelijä ja komikko ja muussa TV-juontaja, mä asun Englanniksi, mä asun Losissa ja mä olen tosi iloinen, että mä voin olla vieraana nyt My Favorite Villain podcastilla.
Yeah, no, let's do it in English. English. All right, so hello everybody. This is another episode of Your Favorite Villain. I'm your host, Rytis Valiunas, and today my guest is a German actress from Finland. Somehow, don't ask me why, we're gonna figure it out all together. She is a comedian, she's an actress, she's a music TV show host, and a huge fan of cats and heavy metal music. You may recognize her from her YouTube channel, Kati's Crazy Diary, or maybe from Music Interview Corner as well on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kati Rausch. Hey.
Hey, yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited that we can finally do something productive with our time right now, because we're all grounded.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's cut to the chase and jump into the main question of my quest of doing these interviews. Now, tell me about who's your all-time favorite villain and why?
It is Earl Hickey from My Name is Earl, because he is, in a way, he's a villain and he did a lot of evil things like stealing a car from a one-legged girl and stuff like that. But he is still trying to be better and he tries to be a good person and he is kind of good-hearted and very stupid and naive and he grows during the show.
All right, so it's the fact of the redemption that he decides to go out and fix all of the bad things that he has done. That's what draws you to him?
Yes, and I also like the whole idea of karma and someone like a small, I don't know, he's kind of more a small villain. He's just doing all these small little like frauds and stuff. He's not a killer, a murderer, and he's not really that evil. He's not doing like, these petty little crimes. And I really like the idea of karma. And I like it that someone like Earl finds out about karma and believes karma is going to kill him. Because first his reasoning is very selfish because he thinks karma is going to kill me if I'm not becoming a better person. Because he wins the lottery and then gets run over by a car. And he thinks, oh my God, karma is going to kill me if I'm not becoming a better person. And over the course of the series, he really truly wants to become a better person. And I really like that.
Yeah, that is awesome. And also, I think karma gets a bad rep because we all know the saying about karma, that karma is a specific type of a person. But I think that I do like the idea of karma as well. And I think it's just, if anything, it's fair. It's just fair, and it's trying to keep the balance in the universe.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So going off of that, now I've mentioned in the beginning that you do a lot of different things. You have expertise in different areas. So let's say at the end of it, all is said and done. How about? Sorry, I was getting a call. How about, what would you want to leave as a legacy? And by legacy, I mean, if somebody would flip through a book of historic personalities and would stumble upon your photo, they would read your name and there would be a couple of sentences next to it. What would you like your legacy sentences to be?
Yeah, I came up with something really creative yesterday. So Kati Rausch was the most funny German girl from Finland. She survived the Corona pandemic 2020 and made it really big after Hollywood reopened. Because I think you have to put positive affirmations out there. So let's see what happens when Hollywood reopens.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good plan. That's good. All right, now this is always a very fun part for me of this show is funny or ridiculous photos or stories from your life. Now, you send me a photo. I'm gonna pull it up. It's definitely something. Let me just do some technological magic over here and share my screen with the audience. Now, let's talk about this for a moment. So, yeah. This is a photo, as you can see, guys. Can you give us some context or just what is happening? What's happening here?
It was taken here in LA, in Los Angeles, at Food for Less, and I had a really bad day, and then I went out to buy some groceries, and I found this, and it made my day.
Yep, it's a healthy looking root. Let me tell you that much.
It's really good for your immune system also. It's boosting the immune system. And it looks very powerful. You have to admit that. It looks very strong and powerful in this picture.
It does. I'm happy for that root. That root's it's having a good life. All right. So now in terms of stories, you know what? Do I want to do that? Yeah. Hold on. Give me one moment. I'm gonna share a photo of myself as well. I have a couple.
Oh yes, do you also have a picture with some horseradish?
Yeah, no, I have a bit of a different one. This is me. That's circa 1993 or 4, I want to say.
Oh, so cute. And you were into music already back then.
Yeah. And for those who may not know, I was a choir boy for 10 years since the age of 5.
Wow.
So yeah. And and my mom used to actually be a violin teacher. Yeah. So
cool.
I was always kind of surrounded. And my dad played as a drummer in a band with his cousins.
Cool. So, I just wanted to say all the highly skilled Europeans come to the US to share their skills here, like you and me.
Yes. Oh, so actually I should probably explain what happened in the beginning of our episode. So this is the first time our show is going international, so to speak, even though I'm in New York, Kati is in LA, but we both come from Europe and we have a European background. That's why I was speaking Lithuanian and she was speaking some German and Finnish. Because we know those languages as well, so we are bilingual, or in your case, trilingual even. So that's another thing that we live in this life. Actually, a question about that: do you find yourself in what language do you think?
Oh, it's a mix. Sometimes it depends on when I'm talking to my best friend in Finnish. I will think in Finnish. I often think in German. And I also think in English, and I actually also speak Danish and very crappy French. And when I dream, sometimes I dream also multilingual. But it's when I learned Finnish, I try to force myself to think in Finnish just to practice.
Mm-hmm. And do you find yourself like in your daily life in LA, do you just like automatically like your brain shifts into thinking in English, or do you still like it's still like a mix depending on who you're talking to?
Mostly it's a mix of thinking in German, in Finnish, and in English, depending on what I think. And sometimes when I write scripts or comedy routines and I'm in a creative flow and I'm writing really fast, I sometimes write in all of the 3 languages because I have a Finnish word and I think this is perfect. And I will later then translate it all maybe into English to perform here. But I write in a lot of different languages, and sometimes I have the perfect word, even so I write in English, I have the perfect word in German or in Finnish, and then I just write it there in German and in Finnish, and I figure later out what I want to say and what's the best English version for that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges of knowing multiple languages, which is like that's like the best humble brag ever. But I think it's the fact that sometimes the exact thing that you want to say or you want to mean, but like it doesn't translate in the other language. Because I remember when I was I've written a play, a full-length play years ago, and when I came here I wanted to translate it to English, and I did eventually, but it was a lot of work because there are phrases and like certain things that like in the sense of the language, they just hit in a certain way, and there's just no direct translation to it, because you're not, I mean, you can translate the words, but then the meaning gets lost. If you want to translate the meaning, that's a whole different beast. Like, do you find yourself kind of like struggling with this, or like you said, you just like write it down and then figure it out later?
Mostly I write it down and figure it out later, but I had some problems. I wrote a routine about the Bible, about the 10 Commandments, where it's a joke about if God is male or female. And I tried to translate that. That was written in German originally. And I tried to translate that into Finnish for a Finnish stand-up show. And it was not possible because in Finland, the language is neutral. You don't really have pronouns for male and female. So this doesn't even work in Finnish. So I couldn't even say that in Finnish. And sometimes you have these figures of speeches or idiomatic expressions that you cannot even translate, and it would not make sense. I made a YouTube video about that once, my favorite Finnish like figures of speech. And it was hard to translate some into English, and I had to explain a lot, but it was comedy, so it worked. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult to translate things because languages have a different structure.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you want to know more about this this distinction between languages, go check out that video on YouTube, my friends.
Yes,
now,
it's called My Favorite Finnish Figures of Speech.
Yeah. Now, a video that I really enjoyed. I mean, there were your contents overall. Like, I like it because it's very uplifting. It's upbeat and very bubbly, which is, I feel like, something that we all need, you know, in this time. And what I wanna say, I'm getting calls left and right now, so that's
no,
why
it's just cool that you're so important and that you have kind of at least social contacts via the phone, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the important part, but you know, at least people want to talk to me, so that's good. Anyway, going back to my point, one of your videos was a video for Valentine's Day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that one was a lot of fun because that the first time you were wearing a certain costume element in a video?
Yes, my first time with a wig, and we made also a follow-up video where a friend was teaching me how to put on a wig correctly. And my wig was basically like having a life of its own and always falling off and going back and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then you followed up with the wigs in your St. Patrick's Day update.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, my friend taught me how to put on the green wig correctly because we wanted to show people what they can do when they are on lockdown, like learn new things. And my friend taught me then how to put on a wig correctly.
So, my friends, if you want to know how to properly put on a wig during lockdown, go check that video out. I'm just plugging your YouTube channel like left and right. I'm not even gonna.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything I can do to help. So, going back to the Valentine's Day thing. Now, I'm sure, you know, it's different talking to male and female guests because my male guests, I can ask them about the pickup lines that they have ever. You know, like their best pickup lines that they think that are the best, or like the lines that they have ever said. Now, I don't know if you ever use pickup lines, but I'm pretty sure that you hear a lot of them. So I'm gonna ask you a two-part question. One is, if you would ever to use a pickup line, what would you think your best line would be? And also, you know, just share with the audience some pickup lines that over the years have stuck with you. Good, bad, horrible, funny, or otherwise.
Okay, so I don't have a pickup line. I have a whole pickup scheme in a way.
Pickup scheme, I love it. Hold on. I'm getting my pen out. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So I used that about 3 times in my life, mostly when I saw a really cute guy on the street. And I went up to him. I wanted to start a conversation. And I know we never met before. But then I go there and I say like, hey, I really enjoyed your gig. And then I name some cool like music or comedy venue that is in the city where I was. So, hey, I really enjoyed your gig at the Rainbow. It's so nice to see you again. And then this guy mostly says, oh, I didn't play a gig at the Rainbow. And I say, oh, wow, you look exactly like this guitar player. But by the way, I'm Katie. What's your name?
I respect that. You know what? I'm writing it down. This is good.
Because it's like nice and clumsy and innocent. And it worked. I got 2 really good dates out of that. So.
Hey, look at that. So there you go. So that's it's not a pick. I love that it's not a pickup line. It's a pickup scheme. It's an entire thing that you put in some thought in there. Yeah. Do you have any lines that you remember that somebody ever told you, and then you were like, I cannot believe that you just said that?
Actually, Finnish guys are really shy when they are flirting, and when they get drunk, like every Friday night, you traditionally get drunk in Finland. And then you go out and sing karaoke like fully drunk, and then you hit on girls. And in these situations, I heard often the pickup line, hey, you have really nice boobs. And I was like, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's maybe the stupidest that I heard a few times from really drunk guys. And the nicest one was, I had my hair was longer in the past, and I sometimes put it into braids. And the one guy said to me, you look like Pocahontas. Or like he said, what's your name? I guess it's Pocahontas. And that was kind of cute, and we're still friends to this day. We never really went on a date, but we're still friends, and he's actually a musician, and I ended up interviewing his band, and yeah, that was the cutest, I guess, so far.
So to all of my male audience members, here's a lesson for you, my friends. Know your princesses, okay? And then know when to use a certain princess's name, because then you might end up having a friend. Who knows? That's some
maybe
good
not
advice.
A date, but friends are good too, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. And again, you know, different strokes for different folks, I think the saying goes, but I'm a believer in the fact that, you know, if you're dating someone, like you got to be friends first. Like you got to know the person. Like,
yes, always. For me too, yeah. And I'm also actually friends with all my ex-partners still. Because I'm good at breaking up peacefully. So, and my ex-boyfriends were the first to call me when they heard about like lockdown in LA or when an earthquake happens or anything. My ex-partners are always the first one to message me and call me to see if I'm all right. Yeah. I'm
sure that their current partners really appreciate that.
Actually, yeah, my current partners actually. Oh, I always say I'm single, so maybe let's better not talk about that. But if I would have a current partner, he would be probably very, very tolerant and able to live with that.
Okay, yeah, let's just leave it at that then. So yeah, we before this recording, we had a conversation just, you know, about things, and we really got into talking about multi-dimensional world and everything. And I want to ask you an interplanetary travel question, which is, as we all know, there are plans for humanity to colonize Mars. And if that happens in the near future, I don't know if you ever signed up for the Mars 2020 mission. Sadly, I didn't. I don't know if it's still happening.
We should have, because we didn't know how the situation will be here. So it would be maybe much nicer on Mars right now.
I mean, you know, you never know. You never know. But if you were to go to Mars and you would be one of the first settlers and, like, you know, one of the people to colonize it, and you would know that you're not going to come back to Earth, what would be the three things, like three physical things that you would take to remember Earth?
Since I'm not allowed to take my human friends, right? I have to take objects.
Yeah. No, that goes without saying. Like friends, boyfriends, you know, like fiancés, you know, children, husbands, sisters, brothers. No, aside from people, just like physical things that you know, like it's like a interplanetary carry-on kind of.
I would definitely take chocolate. Because I just found at Trader Joe's an amazing dark chocolate with 100% chocolate without sugars. I would definitely take this great organic chocolate with me, in case I meet also some like native Martians. I don't know, I could offer them this chocolate as a gift to show that I'm coming in peace. And I would definitely take a bag of green tea, like a package of tea bags, because I love green tea. My favorite is blueberry, organic green tea with blueberry. And then I would for sure take my MP3 player. I'm old-fashioned, I have an MP3 player. And there's all my favorite music on it, like basically a lot of heavy metal, power metal, and also a lot of 60s and 70s rock bands that I love. And that's also, I think I could show that to the Martians, to just bring them some good things when I'm coming to invade their planet in a way.
That would be. I'm just trying to imagine right now if I was a Martian and I thought I found some of the creatures coming to my planet and they offered me 100% dark chocolate, green tea, and some heavy metal. I think I would be okay with that. I think I would be actually okay with that.
Yeah, actually, a lot of heavy metal bands are really nerdy. They are nerds, and they make a lot of songs about aliens and space travel. And so maybe the aliens would like that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? So what's your take about we touched upon karma, about interplanetary travel. What do you think is going on in our universe? What's your theory about everything?
I'm not sure. I hope that we will just all get through this, and I think being kind to each other and supporting each other in times like this.
Absolutely. So let me shift to this. I always give my my guests on the show a chance to ask me some questions, if you have any, just so you don't feel like you're being interrogated or anything. And I'm just this, you know, even though my brand is the international mastermind who wants to see your hero suffer and the villain of all types and shapes and forms, but I do want this to be a fun experience for everyone watching, as well as for all my guests. So if you have any questions, shoot, and I'll try to answer as honestly as I can. So
what are you doing? What's your favorite thing besides recording a talk show?
Well, you know, that's the thing, because as soon as this started, this talk show idea it actually has been brewing in my mind for a while now. But I, you know, I got all of the classic overthinking and just like, like kind of like self-doubting things in my mind saying like, oh, who would want to watch you? Like nobody knows who you are. Plus, do I have the personality to do this?
Oh, you
all
have personality. That's what I can say for sure.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I was like, I always actually wanted to try it out because I think, it's kind of like one of those things for artists, I believe. Art. Okay, so I'm gonna again, I'm spilling all the beans on
Okay.
myself in this show, but I have this. My belief and my theory is that art in general was the first form of social media. In terms of like we connected, generations of artists to this day. Like anytime I go to a museum, anytime I go to see an exhibition, anytime I go to see a show, anytime I hear a song, or like I play something or like learn something, like that's, artists of previous generations talking to me, and that inspires me to do something else, which hopefully in the future will inspire the next generation. And then, like it kind of continues. So I think in that sense, we're all like a social network, and we've been since the beginning of time. So I feel like that need to connect and to share with each other, it's like somehow ingrained. So I took this opportunity, and I'm like, you know what, this is the time. This is the time to do it, and this is the time to bring some light and just like give people an insight, honestly, to our lives, because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about what actors, especially in this country, what we do. Because I'm sure like the acting business is so much different from Germany and Finland, and like stand-up comedian business as well, right?
Yeah, the stand-up business in Finland and the US, I would say, is not that different, but the definitely the acting business is a completely different thing.
Yeah. So to be honest, this has been taking up a lot of my day because I'm contacting different people, I'm recording episodes, but I'm very happy about it because I get to meet and talk to people, to other artists, and I feel like again we just continue that cycle of just like lifting each other up and inspiring. And then again, if somebody comes as an audience member from the side and watches us just be ourselves for a couple of minutes, for 20 minutes or half an hour, they can also kind of forget about what's going on, or like just like get out of their headspace and just get some perspective. So that's the main thing. And then yeah, I'm still keeping my work. I'm a teacher for toddlers. I teach toddlers music and ballet classes. Shout out to Juliet and Ellis Playdate. Yeah, I live stream my classes for kids every day at 4:30 p.m. And yeah, that's another thing that I really like and really enjoy is connecting with the youngest generation and just seeing them grow up. And I have been working this job for a couple of years, and it has gotten me through some rough times, just seeing kids be kids and keep them be happy. And I just keep getting reminded about how it's all in the perspective. Like kids just if they have a great day, they have a great day. If they have a bad day, they have a bad day. And it's like it's just life. It's like so yeah. I don't know if that answered your question, but I hope it kind of did.
It did.
Okay, awesome. So let me then shift to this. Now we're all on social media, right? And we all have to be social media savvy. Now imagine a scenario where we are all in this parallel universe where we're not humans anymore, but we are hashtags on Instagram. Now, what would your hashtag be?
I have actually a hashtag that I've been using for a while. It is German Finnish crazy, because I think that really describes me.
So hashtag German Finnish crazy.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, so my fellow members of the audience who are watching, you know the drill. Let's get hashtag German Finnish crazy trending on Instagram. And also, just so we can get it trending with something, is there something you want to share with the audience? Maybe even, you know where I'm leading this, maybe there are some future projects that are about to come up that you're excited to tell people about and let them know that it's coming up.
Yeah, last summer I wrote and produced and starred in my first short film, my first own short film that I made here in the US. It's called Our Song, and it hasn't premiered yet. It was completed in January, but now all the film festivals are canceled, so I don't know when the premiere will be, but I have to wait for a festival. I cannot just put it on the internet. But it's a comedy drama mix of comedy and drama. And the funny thing is, it's about a couple that breaks up and gets back together, and that would be dramatic and maybe boring, but yeah, there's the poster. And the thing is that they only speak in song lyrics the whole time. That's why it's called a story about love, loss, and lyrics. They only speak in song lyrics the whole film.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually so cool.
Yeah, that's the comedy. That's the situation comedy.
Oh,
yeah, and we filmed this in a motel in the desert. It was so hard to find a location because no hotel or motel here in LA wanted to allow us to use a rain rig. And so there we have our rain in the middle of the desert.
That's awesome. There are some more shots. So were you using original song lyrics, or were you using actually published song lyrics for this?
Yeah, actual really famous song lyrics, so that everybody will at least recognize like 80% of the lyrics.
Oh,
we have Celine Dion. We have also, of course, some heavy metal bands like Halloween. We have a lot of really like big ABBA, really big famous. This is one of my favorite screenshots. There we are quoting a song from My Heart Will Go On, and that's why we're doing the Titanic pose.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, no, it's looking good. And I didn't know about the song lyric thing, but that sounds like a very, very intriguing concept. Was it hard to speak only in song lyrics?
For me, not so much because I wrote it, but Ricky, my scene partner here, I was looking for someone who is handsome and nerdy at the same time, and I'm so glad that I found him, and he did an amazing job. And he said to me, it feels to him like playing Shakespeare in a way, because you have to really stick to the text, and you cannot like do some improv and put a little and or something in that, what you can normally do with dramatic acting. And he said you need to have a certain rhythm for that, so he compared it to Shakespeare. That's
it. I mean, I can understand that. I can get behind that. Yeah. So one more question before we transition into dancing around a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, do you find that stand-up comedian gig and that entire world and acting world have more things in common, or more things that are different, would you say? Because it's still being on stage, it's just in a very different capacity. Now, do you find similarities or differences in that?
I think there are a lot of similarities, actually. And I know a lot of comedians who are like me, also actors, and who just want to create their own material and do gigs like on their own and not waiting to be cast into something. It's to do your own stuff. And I know many people who are amazing stand-up comedians and who are mostly also very good comedy actors, because you learn a lot about comedic timing from stand-up that you can then put into movies. And a lot of Robin Williams, there are so many who were stand-up comedians in the first place before they got cast into movies and had a career as actors. Jim Carrey, there are so many, and you can see that they have an amazing comedic timing, and I think stand-up comedy helps you really to train this and to develop this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, do you think, do you find that, because you've done acting and comedy gigs in different countries now, do you find that different audiences are more sensitive to, or like more responsive to certain types of material, or how does that work? Because I would imagine that would be one of the biggest questions of like, where is it the place where I'm performing tonight, and also what kind of an audience am I going to get?
Yeah, I would say that I always experienced that in Germany, the censorship is very strong, especially when it comes to political jokes, like Nazi jokes. And I'm not a Nazi. I come from a Christian hippie family, and I have a lot of friends around the world. But for me, as an actor and abroad, you are always the villain. You can maybe understand that. But for me, if you're a German actor and you move to a foreign country, they will call you for the Nazi roles. I played a lot of Nazis, also female Nazis, Nazi nurses. I played once a schizophrenic Nazi cook. And I wrote a comedy routine based on that I'm not a Nazi, but I'm always cast for these roles. Because I'm German. And there are some jokes I think I could not do in Germany because it would offend people. But in Finland, you can go really far with that, because Finns are very they're very open to political jokes, and the Finns have a very dark sense of humor, and it's hard to offend the Finnish audience. You can go really far, also jokes about alcoholism, because that's all things that they have also in their own country. And I feel that Finns use comedy as a medicine. So it's okay to talk about a lot of things because it's also a way to process it. And I feel in Germany, they would even not let you say on TV. They will always censor everything. And I saw people, I did stand-up gigs on stage shows. And then I saw them on TV, and they had to change their whole routines because there were jokes that the TV producers said, no, this is too hard. You cannot say that. And then the routines were really a lot less cool because they had to be changed so much. And I noticed here in the US, you can also go pretty far with a lot of things.
That's very interesting to hear about Finland, because I think the general kind of idea of the Scandinavian region is like people who are very much like very reserved. So I feel like, but that makes sense that comedy is like an outlet for them to kind of like get all of that reservedness out and just like kind of like, you know, live through all of the things that are happening there. That's cool. That's very cool.
And I think also the Finns are not really reserved. That's more like I think, misconception that the Finns are very shy and reserved. Some are shy. Finnish guys are general more shy, I think, than in other countries. But in Finland, it is considered to be polite not to talk too much to other people. And so that's why Finns, there's always this prejudice that Finns don't talk. And they really talk a lot less when you're riding public transport. In Finland, there's a lot less people are sitting there silently, a lot are talking very like silently to each other. And this is just because the Finnish culture tells you that it's impolite to bother someone too much by talking to them. But when I come there as a foreigner, no matter also if you're Finnish or a foreigner, if you start a conversation and give people like the signal, hey, I really like to talk to you, then they mostly are happily talking to you. So it's more like a cultural thing and a cultural misunderstanding. The Finns are not that reserved. They are actually very open-minded and outgoing if you let them, if you give them the permission that it's okay.
Yeah, well, then there you go, my friends, another lesson of life, which is don't always believe in stereotypes and just, you know, get to know people and then make your own opinions about things. Because otherwise we live in this world of preconceived ideas that they just escalate and then travel, and then we end up for no reason thinking about somebody one way, and then we're like, oh, but this is not, I know this person, and like, so just, you know, think with your own head. That's what I'm pointing at. I think that's a good lesson to draw from this. Now, I always ask my guests, what is their song that gets them going, that makes them happy, maybe even a guilty pleasure song. I know you have 2 songs in the running right now. So which song are we going to be jamming out to with our headphones, silent disco style today? I
actually had Halloween, How Many Tears, a classic from the 80s, power metal classic. And the other one is Beyond the Black Hole by Gamma Ray. I don't know. I mean, Beyond the Black Hole has probably more to do with aliens. So maybe we're going to go for that one.
Okay.
Because we were talking about Mars. That's probably a good song to show to the Martians if I'm coming there, you know.
All right. So let's do it. I'm gonna switch over to my headphones. I'm gonna do some again some technological.
I'm just thinking, how should I do it? Should I get my MP3 player, or should I just play it here? Would it be on your recording if I play it?
Yes, that's why I want to do it with headphones, so we don't get copyrighted or get any lawsuits. So go.
I will get my
stuff.
MP3 player if that's okay.
All right, go for it. And I'm gonna be here setting up. All right, so my friends, the song we're gonna be jamming out to with Kati is Gamma Ray, Beyond the Black Hole. Now let me.
Oh, and I have some chaos like always.
Oh yeah, I remember someone on the internet said maybe we should replace all of the locks in the world with tangled up like iPhone headphones.
Oh, and that's a great idea. And you know, I had a joke about Mars actually. Did you know that there's a new restaurant on Mars and the food is really good, but no atmosphere? That's a stupid one. But... And now they don't even know if there might be an atmosphere, you know. So.
I feel like that I've heard that joke.
Yeah, there's also a joke about a restaurant on the moon that goes the same way. Okay, I will pick up the song. Here's my pink MP3 player that I'm going to take to Mars. So
there we go. Already putting it to good use.
Yes.
All right, let me see if I play
And the song is actually pretty long. Power metal songs tend to be longer. This is about 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, so, this is 6 minutes. All right, friends. So we're gonna jam out to some heavy metal. This is a first on our show for sure. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, good that I can bring you some metal because it's very positive.
Oh yeah. Oh, it bangs. I love it.
Okay, cool. Let's start. Oh, wrong song. Wait. Now we go.
Those drums. Let's go. Woo. All right, my friends. So this was today's episode of Your Favorite Villain. I'm your host, Rytis Valiunas. This is my guest, Kati Rausch, and we are signing off. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks for being here, Kati.
Thank you so much. It was fun.